There's a sign at the Life Design Studio at Stanford University that says, "You are here," and the students love it because it reminds them that it doesn't matter where you've come from, where you're going, what your background is. The only thing that matters is where you are right now. Bill and Dave, the authors of this book, Designing Your Life, think that you can only figure out where you want to go in life once you know where you are. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Tintin and this is the second video in a series about this book, Designing Your Life. We are going over the tools and techniques needed to know how to build a life and a career that you really love. This process is called life design. The first video in this series was about understanding what life design is and the 5 mindset shifts that we're going to need to be life designers. And now we know what life design is and we want to build a life that we really love. But before we think about where we want to go, the most important thing is to realize where you are now and figure out which problems you're trying to solve. If you just head off in a random direction, like trying to earn more money because you think that's the problem that you've got, then you might realize a few years down the line that you've been trying to solve the wrong problem. This is what happened to Dave, one of the authors of the book. Dave studied biology at Stanford University, and he chose it because he felt like he was destined to become a marine biologist. And there were 2 reasons why he felt this way. The first is that Dave's childhood hero, Jacques Cousteau, I think that's how you pronounce it.
Jacques Cousteau.
Jacques Cousteau. Dave's childhood hero was Jacques Cousteau, who made underwater documentaries, and Dave loved watching seals. The second reason was his biology teacher at high school called Mrs. Strauss. And Mrs. Strauss was an amazing teacher and she made biology really fun and interesting, and Dave loved it. The problem was that Dave misperceived her good teaching and how much fun he had in the lessons for being a greater interest in the subject. This combination of interest led Dave to thinking that he wanted to be a marine biologist. And so he applied to Stanford University to study it, but they only offered biology, so he settled for that. He hated it and he failed most of his classes. And throughout the year, students and lab mates and teaching assistants asked him, "Why are you studying biology? You clearly hate it and you're doing terribly." Despite all these questions though, Dave persisted for 2 more years because he felt like he was destined to follow Jacques Cousteau's footsteps. He kept working away at solving the problem of getting his grades up, but he was so focused that he didn't realize the real problem is that he should never have studied biology in the first place. Over the years, Bill and Dave have seen countless stories like this, where people come to them and tell them about a problem in their life and they're very clearly working on the wrong problem. And they wake up sometime in the future after achieving some kind of success in their life, and they suddenly are wondering, how come I didn't realize sooner that I don't like my work and I don't really care about what I'm doing? Luckily for Dave, his failure in biology was so intense and he was so miserable that he eventually gave up and had to switch to mechanical engineering, which he actually became quite successful at and really enjoyed. However, if Dave had approached his life more like a life designer when he left high school, he would have explored more about marine biology before he set his sights on becoming the next Jacques Cousteau. He could have gone out to open sea to see what marine biology was really like. He could have volunteered at a research center. He could have spoken to other biology majors before he'd gone to university. Instead, he left high school with his mind made up and focused on what he thought was his destiny. He learned the hard way that his first idea wasn't his best. Now you might be thinking, well, you can't really explore everything, and what if you're really certain about the thing that you want to do? Well, it's still worth exploring things as much as you can before you have to commit to them, so that you can be sure that you want to pursue that thing. But to be honest, from personal experience, you can never be sure that you want to do something. You just have to experience it, get a taste for it, and if you like it enough, then you can commit to it. It may turn out to be the wrong decision, but that's something that life design is all about. You learn from your experiences, and if you choose the wrong thing, you let go and you move on. So how often do we really check in with ourselves and think, am I working on the right problems here? Do I actually want to become a marine biologist, or am I just trying to fulfill my childhood dreams? So we're going to get on to how to check in with yourself. But before we do that, I just want to talk about something that Bill and Dave call gravity problems. Gravity problems are problems that you cannot change. It's like being annoyed about gravity when you're cycling uphill. You can't do anything about it. Instead, you could focus on getting a better bike or getting in better shape, or practicing more on your bicycle. Sometimes we get stuck working on gravity problems, and Dave wasn't stuck working on a gravity problem because he could actually get his grades up. That's not something that's impossible. But an example of a gravity problem is like being annoyed at the amount that you get paid in the creative industries. It's a massive task to try and increase the amount of the average pay in the creative industry. It's not to say you shouldn't fight for things that you believe in. It's just that if you are someone who is struggling, then you shouldn't be working on problems that you can't solve. Right, so now we've realized the importance of working on the right problems in your life. You can't know where you're going in the future if you don't know where you are right now. You really can't. In the last video, we spoke about this idea of dysfunctional beliefs that hold us back. And the dysfunctional belief that holds us back here is that we should already know where we're going. And we can reframe this problem as, you can't know where you're going until you know where you are. And we do it using something called the Start Where You Are dashboard. Hey guys, so I'm in my bedroom and I'm just gonna fill out this Start Where You Are dashboard. So basically what it is you've got, I'll put it up on the screen, you've got your health, your work, your play, and your love. So the 4 main areas of your life. This is how they break it down in the book. And you basically just review each area, write a little comment about how it's going, how much time you're giving to this area of your life and kind of give it a rating. In the book, they say rate it out of 4, but I think rating out of 10 is kind of nice, so that's what I'm going to do. Obviously, you can change it. If you want to look at this template, you can get the link in the video description, but I'm just going to fill out here so you can see kind of the things that I write. So once we know where we are in our lives and how we feel about each of the different areas in our life, then we can start to think about which direction we want to go. In doing this exercise, we're forced to think about the different areas of our life and which are going well and which we need to focus on to make sure that we're focusing on the right problems. Bill and Dave advised that you should go to this dashboard once a week or once a month, just doing it regularly to make sure that you're checking in. I actually do a weekly review every Sunday night where I go through the different parts of my life, and I talk about this in my Sunday night newsletter, so if you want to subscribe to that, then the link is in the description. But the point is, we're constantly designing our lives throughout our life. So now we know where we are in our lives and which problems we have, we can start to build a compass, which we're going to do in the next video, and this compass is going to enable us to always be going in the right direction. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.